All right. I really wanted to make a part three um, to the creating that false defensive self that you created um, when you were surrounded by narcissists, or if you still are, that that self that you just to keep the peace. You're holding all your anger and rage on the inside uh, the whole time, even if you're not aware of it. The anger is building, you know. Um, but you don't know what to do. You don't know how to get away. You wish you could get away, but you don't know how. You don't have the energy to do it. Um, you kind of feel trapped, and that's kind of what they do is they kind of trap you and they kind of isolate you from the world, uh, the real world. They isolate you because they don't want you talking to the real world. They don't want you to have a real life. Like Narc Survivor says, they want to keep you in a box. They want you to keep in their box, and they want you to be that person that they want you to be. Uh, Even if being that person is not good for you or healthy for you. Uh, like in my situation, it was just a person that didn't really care for themselves, or take was independent. Um, they kind of broke me down to where I I didn't know much about the skills of life, and I kind of just I wrote myself off um, of having any chance of having a real life on the outside. I just kind of wrote myself off like it's uh, never gonna happen. My family beat me. They won. I surrendered. Basically, I surrendered. I surrendered my freedom uh, because I was afraid. They intimidated me, and their tactics were effective. I didn't know what a narcissist was back then. I didn't know how deep the rabbit hole went. I didn't know how dangerous. I knew they were dangerous. I didn't know they were insanely dangerous. Like I know now. You know, uh, I really wanted to believe their false characters that they portrayed. I really wanted to believe that that was really them. My brain like tried to convince itself that those false characters were the real them, and that's kind of where I have conflicting thoughts, of cognitive dissonance, of one side being the truth, that I know the truth, and the other side is the fantasy that they wanted me to believe about them. So it's kind of two conflicting things. Like I know the truth, but I also know the fantasy that they were portraying, the perfection, the false self, the false front. I also wanted to believe that was my real parents, like pretending that was the real them, and so I got to get it in my head that that was just a mask, and they weren't real people the whole time, and it's still a mind screw to think about. Ugh. Just imagine that you're born to fake people. Just imagine that you're born to fake people. You're born into a fake environment. You're born into a fake reality. You're born into a fake situation. What do? You know what I'm saying? All you know is the fake reality. All you know is the fake reality that they give you, that they show you, that they're a part of, you know. But in the back of your mind, you're like, this is fucking crazy. This is batshit crazy, you know. The whole time you're like, uh, the warning inside you is like, this is all fucked up. This whole situation is fucked up, and I know it's fucked up, but I don't know what to do here. I don't know how to get away safely. I don't know how to explain this to people. I don't know how to explain this to authorities. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fucked up situation, because you don't get born into you think you're getting born into a loving family, but in a narcissist family, there's no love. Zero. There's zero love in a narcissist family. Nothing. Um, and so you're like starving for that love. You're starving. Like I know I was starving for it, for that love from my parents, real love that I never felt. And they can't give what they don't have. And I realize that now, they never had that love to give in the first place. They were just pretending that they could feel love. They said the words, I love you. They say the words, but they don't feel the emotion of love. They've never felt the emotion of love. It's just you want to believe the words, you want to believe that they mean them, and you kind of delude yourself, and it's just a crazy situation to get born into. Um, I wanted to get out of the situation at a very young age. I just didn't know how. I didn't know how to get away. Um, I didn't know how to um, escape properly. I didn't know all these things. I didn't know, um, you know, like the people born into a healthy family don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But people that are born into a narcissist, both parents narcissists, know what I'm talking about. It's a fucked up situation to be born into. Totally fucked up. And everything's upside down. Everything's backwards. What's good is bad. What's bad is good. What's sane is insane. What insane is sane. So what um, the craziness that they're involved in is normal. The calm, sane world that you live in is crazy. It's all backwards. Everything's backwards in a narcissist family. Everything. The sane person gets called crazy. The sane one, the crazy people get called, think they're normal and sane. It's totally backwards. But anyways, uh, I don't know if making videos this much is good. Maybe I should slow it down a bit. Uh, Going through all these memories is kind of tough, because there's a lot of memories, a lot of blocked memories. It's a whole library of blocked memories, blurred out. My life is a blur, and if your life is a blur, then chances are you've been a victim of narcissist abuse. If your whole life is just a blur, and it doesn't make any sense, there's a good chance you've been a victim of narcissists. If your whole life made no sense at all, 0 cents, no point. Um, Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I need to do some healthy, productive things, today, and get my mind off, because it's not the best thing to just think about your experience with the narcissist, and it's not the best thing to just watch videos constantly. And I realize that you gotta do other things. You gotta do healthy things for yourself, and just because if your mind's given them more focus, you know what I mean, than they deserve. And so you gotta focus your mind in a different direction than their crazy hamster world will go into a sane direction. You want to go into a sane, normal direction, away from their insanity that you were born into or were around. You want to go in the opposite direction, climb that hill in the opposite direction. uh, and they're trying to hoover you, but you don't see the hoover, but you're still going this way. That's the goal, you know, is you don't even see the Hoovers. You're just going uphill, and that's kind of the goal. Is they don't really exist anymore, and it's kind of reality. Is like the false characters don't really exist, and you got to get that in your head. Those characters that they're portraying don't exist. The characters that they portray most of the time don't exist. It's just an act. Um, uh, Under the mask is the real shit. That's the real shit. Um, so you got to remember that shit. That's the real shit that you're getting away from. That under the mask is what you're getting away from. So, anyways, uh, people that will call me crazy. You should see the people I'm running from. You should see the people I'm trying to get away from. I don't hold the candle in the insanity compared to them. I don't hold a candle to them. So you should see who I'm running from if you think I'm nuts. That's what I say. I mean, I'm working through my issues, but you should see who I'm no contact from. More than one narcissist, psychopath. You should see who I'm getting away from. Behind closed doors, not in public. You should see them behind closed doors. Who I'm running from, um, or getting away from. Not normal humans at all. Like killer robot machines coming for you. Like Terminators just coming for you. Uh, that's kind of how it feels like. That's how because they don't think like a normal human. At all. Uh, even hoovering is like a machine, a vacuum machine. It's still a machine, hoovering machine. It's all mechanical with a machine. It's all about robotics. Non-human. Very non-human. Anyways, so yeah, just I gotta focus my attention on better things like, I don't know, animals and stuff. And I need to take a break from working. I've been working a lot. Um, but you kind of have to work a lot to be self-sufficient, coming out of this nightmare. If you really want to get further away, you got to work to be self-sufficient, because self-sufficient is the key. um, where they don't have as much power over a self-sufficient person. If you're under the same roof as them, then they have power. They have a lot of power if you're under the same roof. So keep that in mind. It's a nightmare being under the same roof. It's like a rule. Don't be under the same roof as a psychopath. It should be a rule of life. Don't be under the same roof as a psychopath. That was my mistake. That was my mistake. I don't know. I didn't really know what to do. If I'm honest. Anyways, because I didn't know a lot of people. I didn't know other people were going through the same thing. Or were up against the same kind of thing. I thought I was the only crazy situation. Because it's a crazy situation. I thought I was the only one that was caught in it. In this nightmare web entanglement. Uh, so I know I have a lot of healing to go, a lot of reprogramming of my mind. A lot of brainwashing to undo. I know I have a lot of work that needs to be done with myself still. Um, Keep focusing on myself, because they train you that you don't matter. They train you to neglect yourself totally. They train you that the only people that matter are the narcissist parents. They should be worshipped. They're the only ones that matter. You don't matter. And they train you that way. kind of like training a dog, you know. Um, and they made that message. Sorry, they made that message very clear that they were the ones that mattered. They were the kings of the castle. With their arrogance and their grandiose self, they really think they're something special. They really do. It's kind of a joke to the outside world, like the outside world's just laughing at them, but like in reality, they really think they are something special, like a god. Like they're the king of the world. They really think that. It's not a joke. They can't heal anybody like a god can. They can't heal anybody like a Christ figure can. They can't heal, but they act like they're a god that can heal. They can't heal anybody, but they act like they're a god. It's just an act. It's empty. And so it's just like they act like a god, but they're not. They have no godly abilities. You know what I mean? No healing abilities. No empathy like a god would have. Like they don't have all the characteristics of a real loving God because they don't feel love. So they're nothing compared to a real God. They're just they just have this grandiose facade that everybody sees. And a lot of people in Hollywood have it too. Like this grandiose self. That they want to be worshipped and that kind of thing. But they don't have any healing ability, none. So if you're looking for a savior, don't go to them. Don't go to them for a savior because they can't heal you at all. Uh, so keep that in mind. Uh, they can only make you worse. They can only make you worse uh, and pull you into their false reality sphere, that they have going on. Um, Anyways, that's all I wanted to say is like, uh, yeah, like getting rid of that defensive self is it's frustrating to try to get rid of that defensive self that you created, um, because you were that defensive self for so freaking long. You don't even remember it. You don't even know where to begin to be your real authentic self. You don't even know where to begin. Like I don't know where to begin. Uh, I know I was an extrovert uh, before certain events happened that made me an introvert. Like seeing the unmasking made me an introvert. Straight up. The unmasking, the demon, whatever you want to call it, that straight up made me an introvert. Scared introvert. uh that didn't know what the hell to think. My brain couldn't make sense of the unmasking. Rage, um, that it saw. But anyways, that's all I want to say. Uh, maybe making videos is helpful. I think it's more helpful than counseling, if I'm honest. Counseling has its place, but like making videos is kind of effective of getting to the gritty shit inside your head, that you witnessed, because you witnessed and experienced some gritty, and you tolerated some gritty shit. You know what I mean? You're the only one that suffered. The narcissist doesn't suffer through shit. They make you suffer. They make you suffer. Remember that. Uh, they're the king of the castle and you're the slave. So they don't go through shit. They don't suffer through shit. Remember that. It's you that suffers. You do. And so that's why you got to take care of yourself and get the hell out of there. um, because they don't care how you end up. They don't care how you end up at all. They'll say they do. They'll say the words that they care. That's it. They'll just say the words, but they don't really care. They don't feel the care. There's no love. that cares. Uh, so remember that. Um, and I will talk to you later.